Hi, I'm Toby, coming to you from Venture Out Nursery on Whidbey Island. We're here today to talk about winter interest in the garden. We in the Pacific Northwest are spoiled for choice. There is no excuse to have a boring garden in the winter. So when I think about how to make my garden have interest in the winter, I think about bark, I think about texture, I think about leaf color. And then we can have the added bonus special sauce of things like flowers and berries. So as an example of the wealth of choices that we have, let's talk about bark. You could do a white barked Himalayan birch. That beautiful white bark is very striking any day of the year. Similarly, a golden curly willow or the coral bark maple offer us beautiful bark. Red twig dogwoods would be another option. A few other trees with great bark would be paperbark maple or Japanese stewardia. Those certainly aren't the only plants with interesting bark, but those are a good handful to get you started. It's also natural at this time of year that we think about evergreens. And when I say evergreen, a lot of people think I mean conifers, which of course I do, but we also have so many great broad-leaved evergreens. So like the camellia, but also especially this Elaeagnus. The olives, they come in great colors with this kind of variegation, or there are silver ones. There are ones with creamy on the inside and green on the outside. These are drought-tolerant shrubs that make for a great screen. They get to be 8 to 12 feet tall and wide. They are deer-resistant, and bonus, they make a flower that's fragrant in the late fall and early winter. So the autumn olives are a great evergreen choice, a broad-leaved evergreen. The pieris, like this little heath pieris, there are many to choose from. Many of them have emerging foliage interest, but many of them have a leaf color also for the winter that's exciting. And then, of course, we do have conifers. So this is a Horstman's Silverlock fir. Look at this beautiful curly foliage with that silvery underside. Here we get texture and color in spades. Also, there's so many conifers with winter interest, but I also love this Skyland spruce with that fine textured needle that's golden, and her habit is this beautiful, graceful, weeping but slightly swept sort of branch shape. So think about conifers beyond the cedar and the Douglas fir. Think about conifers for foliage texture. There's also the winter flowering plants. So camellias are kind of the cover girl. The Sasanqua camellia and hybrids like that can bring us flowers in the pinks, the reds, the whites. Yuletide is a popular red flowering one. Setsugeka is a popular white one. This is a lovely pink. Many of them open to a frilly center, which are great for when the winter pollinators wake up and need a quick snack. The Oregon grapes, I don't have any on the cart, but many of them start flowering early, and they're also great for the winter pollinators. The pieris do sometimes flower in the winter or early in the spring. And then we also have Viburnum tinus that flowers very early. So those pink flower buds will open to white flowers, and they're quite lovely. Viburnum dawn is another great winter flowering viburnum. And then we couldn't talk about winter flowers without mentioning the hellebores. So this hellebore, I believe, is Molly's White. This is one of my favorites. Frost Pink is another great one for leaf interest, but also we've got flowers coming. See those buds? So they'll be flowering for us soon. But hellebores aren't just about their flowers. Look at snow fever. Look at that great variegated leaf. So great for winter interest and also interest any day of the year. Evergreen perennials like the evergreen grasses, the black mondo grass is leaf interest every day of the year. The evergreen euphorbias, this one is Euphorbia minors Merlot has this great plummy foliage, but there's also the Ascot rainbow with the yellow variegated and the Wolfenii that's silver. And then the winter flowering heaths and heathers, in particular the Erica is the genus, and those hybrids. Some, like this one, have a beautiful leaf color, that golden texture, and then many offer a white, a pink, a red, purpley colored flowers that happen sort of November into February. So we can have flowers year-round in the Pacific Northwest garden. And then also berries. So this is just one of my favorite plants for a part shade, little bit of sun garden. Calicarpa profusion. So these gorgeous purple berries, they're a bit on the hard side, so they don't turn to mush, they persist. The birds eventually like them, but it takes a while. So we've got purple berries in the garden for months into winter. You could also think about crab apples for winter berries, hawthorns, cotoneasters. Many plants offer us berries in the winter garden, both for wildlife food and for interest. So I hope that watching this video today has helped inspire you to have a peek at your winter garden and see if you need to add interest anywhere. And now you're equipped with some ideas when you visit us or your local garden center. Thanks for watching. Happy gardening.